Demanding change. 2 years after her husband was killed by a drunk driver on the job, one woman wants justice this morning. Daryl Simmons was the passenger in a city garbage truck when the driver lost control and flipped it, throwing Simmons from the cab. But even though an investigation proved that the driver was drunk 3 times the legal limit, his widow tells Caitlin Ross that she has no legal recourse. This is frustrating.
Well, Vinny, she says the only way anything's going to change is if the city is forced to take responsibility for what happened. And right now, she says state law prevents her from getting justice.
Great smile. We were so happy.
Looking at pictures of her husband is still painful for Louise Simmons.
Love Western movies. He always told me, you know, if a person don't like Western movies, something wrong with them, baby.
Both working for the city of Atlanta, they had been married 10 years when her supervisors came to her door.
When they told me, it's just like my whole world just stopped.
Police found half a bottle of vodka on the ground at the crash. Reports show the driver of the truck had a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit. Daryl did not have any alcohol in his system. Louise says the city told her Daryl was dead and that under the state's sovereign immunity law, she could not sue and was not entitled to anything other than the workers' comp payout.
My husband wasn't some piece of paper. He was a human being. He was a faithful employee.
Louise had trouble getting information about what happened after Daryl's death. We did too. After making public records requests for 2 months, the city told 11 Alive they have not made any policy changes.
The people who knew this, I want them held accountable. Somebody had to know that this guy was drinking and that he didn't have license. I know somebody knew.
Turns out someone did know. A paper trail shows supervisors knew Melvin Callahan got a DUI and had his commercial driver's license suspended, but they kept him at the wheel of a city dump truck. Department Supervisor Gayla Dodson even got a promotion a year later to make $124,000 a year.
Nothing's going to change because there's no consequence.
Legal analyst Christopher Chestnut says the state's sovereign immunity law prevents her or anyone employed by the city from suing the city.
If you can't sue your employer for putting you in harm's way and knowing they are putting you in harm's way, then why would they go out their way to make anything safer?
So Louise is trying to get support for what she calls the Simmons exception, a piece of legislation she drafted with a law firm that would allow the family of someone killed on the job to sue when the employer clearly acts negligently.
They looking at me like, I dare you be upset. No, I dare you for treating my husband's case like this, because he was my husband. Somebody have to be held accountable.
She says this might be her only shot to get justice for the man she loved.
I'm not going to crumble. I am here to see that justice is done and that my husband's death is not in vain.
She has talked to several legislators who are interested in the legislation, but so far she does not have a sponsor for the bill. The driver who caused the crash died a few months later, so Louise says no one has been held accountable. The city gave us this statement late last night saying, quote, "The city of Atlanta holds its employees to a high standard of conduct and accountability. We uphold a stringent policy for alcohol use for city employees while on duty under any circumstances, and we expect supervisors to uphold and reinforce the city code of conduct. The city also conducts random drug testing of employees operating vehicles or in safety-sensitive positions on a routine basis." And Vinny, we did ask for an interview with the department supervisor multiple times, but the city denied that request.
Something that really stuck out from your piece was what Chris Chestnut said, which is no consequence. Right? And you know, people sometimes make fun of personal injury attorneys for the work they do, but what they do is they create an incentive for people to keep the rest of us safe.
And an incentive to change bad policy.
Yeah. So, I mean, if no one's held accountable, then where's the incentive to make those changes?
Exactly.
That's the problem. All right, Caitlin, great reporting. Thanks so much.